Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Rukmini, Jaya Satyabhama, Krishna Rukmini, Jaya Satyabhama. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivakacharya Stotra Shatra Shri Shrimad Divine Grace Shri Bhacharan Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya, BBT Founder Acharya Seva the whole world Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Tai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chevararottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Yuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, Pure Devotional Service, Text 18. Taravaha kim na jivanti, tarava kim na jivanti, bastraha kim na shvasanti, uta Bastra kim na shvasantyuta na khadanti na mehanti na khadanti na mehanti kim grame pashavaha apare kim grame pashavo pare Tarava kim na jivanti, bastra kim na shvasantyuta, na kadhanti na mehanti, kim grame pashavo pare. Tarava kim na jivanti, bastra kim na shvasantyuta, na kadhanti na mehanti, Kim grame pashavo pare.
Bastra kim nashvasantyuta nakadanti na mehanti kim grame pashavo pare.
Tarava kim na jivanti, vastra kim na shvasantyuta, na khadanti na mehanti, kim grame pashavo pare.
तरवः किं न जीवन्ति भस्त्रा किं न श्वसन्त्युत न खादन्ति न मेहन्ति किं ग्रामे पशवो परे.
Dharavaha, the trees. Kim, weather. Na, do not. Jivanti, live. Bastraha, bellows. Kim, weather. Na, do not. Shvasanti, breathe. Uta, alone. Also. Na, do not. Kadanti, eat. Na, do not. Mehanti, discharge semen. Kim, weather. Grame, in the locality. Pashavaha, beastly living being. Apare, others. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaicharan Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. Do the trees not live? Do the bellows of the blacksmith not breathe? All around us, do the beasts not eat and discharge semen? Can you repeat the translation? Do the trees not live? Do the bellows of the blacksmith not breathe? All around us, do the beasts not eat and discharge semen? Purport. The materialistic man of the modern age will argue that life or part of it is never meant for discussion of theosophical or theological arguments. Life is meant for the maximum duration of existence, for eating, drinking, sexual intercourse, making merry, and enjoying life. The modern man wants to live forever by the advancement of material science, and there are many foolish theories for prolonging life to the maximum duration. But the Srimad Bhagavatam affirms that life is not meant for so-called economic development or advancement of materialistic science, for the hedonistic philosophy of eating, mating, drinking, and merrymaking. Life is solely meant for tapasya, for purifying existence, so that one may enter into eternal life just after the end of the human form of life. The materialists want to prolong life as much as possible because they have no information of the next life. They want to get the maximum comforts in this present life because they think conclusively that there is no life after death. This ignorance about the eternity of the living being and the change of covering in the material world has played havoc in the structure of modern human society. Consequently, there are many problems multiplied by various plans of modernized man. The plans for solving the problems of society have only aggravated the troubles. Even if it is possible to prolong life more than 100 years, advancement of human civilization does not necessarily follow. The Bhagavatam says that certain trees live for hundreds and thousands of years. At Vrindavan, there is a tamarind tree. The place is known as Imlitala, which is said to have existed since the time of Lord Krishna. In the Calcutta Botanical Garden, there is a banyan tree said to be older than 500 years, and there are many such trees all over the world. Swami Shankaracharya lived only 32 years, and Lord Chaitanya lived 48 years. Does it mean that the prolonged lives of the above mentioned trees are more important than Shankara or Chaitanya? Prolonged life without spiritual value is not very important. One may doubt that trees have life because they do not breathe. But modern scientists like Bose have already proved that there is life in plants. So, breathing is no sign of actual life. The Bhagavatam says that the bellows of the blacksmith breathes very soundly. But that does not mean that the bellows has life. The materialist will argue that life in the tree and the life in the man cannot be compared because the tree cannot enjoy life by eating palatable dishes or by enjoying sexual intercourse. In reply to this, the Bhagavatam asks whether other animals like the dogs and hogs living in the same village with human beings do not eat and enjoy sexual life. The specific utterance of Srimad Bhagavatam in regard to other animals means that persons who are simply engaged in planning a better type of animal life consisting of eating, breathing and mating are also animals in the shape of human beings. A society of such polished animals cannot benefit suffering humanity, for an animal can easily harm another animal but rarely do good. Thus ends the Bhaktivinoda purport and translation to Canto 2, Chapter 3, Text 18 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnanathimirantasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Tarava kimna jivanti. Tarava refers to trees. Kimna jivanti. So, this is a questioning by Bhagavatam. Whether Tarava kimna jivanti, the trees are not living. So, what is the context of these words? Basically, this verse is trying to stress the fact that human life is valuable not in comparison to the animals or the hedonistic philosophy of life, but for spiritual advancement, for purification of one's existence. This body is a symbol of impurity, contamination and sin. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, of course modern man may have a different view, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur says this body is a symbol of sin. You acquire this material body only because of sinful activity. And what is sin technically if you go? Because somebody may say, but Prabhu, I have not been sinful. Even in astrology sometimes you can also, like Prabhupada we see, his last life, Prabhupada somewhere says that my life was very pure in the past. So somebody may argue that, but my life was very pure. So basically sin, in a very fundamental understanding of sin is, as Narada Muni explains to Vyasadeva, that anything you do which is not in line with Krishna consciousness or Krishna's plan of action, plan of thinking for this world, it will react. Sin means if you desire anything other than what the Lord has planned, how the Lord has designed, that is actually sin. You take a simple example. Just like this microphone is designed in a certain way. You have to work it, use it, utilize it that way only. If you try to utilize it in an opposite way, it will react. What is that? It will stop functioning. It will stop amplifying anymore. So you've done a sin in that sense. Because you've not learned the operations, how it operates, and you have messed it up. Similarly, the Lord has created this world. He has created this body, created the senses, created so many things. There is a particular purpose. It's a particular purpose for the creation. If we don't understand that, then we are not properly situated. Just like when you join a company. Every company has a mission and a vision, and you have to align yourself with that. Now, you may have your own mission and vision. That is okay. You have the freedom to do so. But when you subscribe to a company, you join some work in a company, then you're expected to align your goals, your interests in line with the company's interests. Otherwise, you will not fit there. You'll be a misfit. Always, you will have some difficulty. Why difficulty? When so many others are comfortable in a company. Why difficulty? Why you have difficulty? Because you're not fitting in. You're not aligning your interests and goals in line with the company's goals and interests. So similarly, this material world, sometimes there is a statement, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate, by the great Acharya in our Gaudiya Vaishnava line, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati, he said, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate, this world is full of happiness. Full of happiness. So, somebody who is experiencing misery in this world means what? It means he has not aligned himself to the purpose of this creation. So, it will react. Just like, coming back to the same example, suppose you are working and there's a supervisor or there's a team lead. So, you don't align yourself, your way of working according to the way the team lead or the supervisor is telling, you will be in trouble. You will be in trouble. You will always be in trouble. So similarly, if we do not know for what this world is created, how this world is created, for what purpose everything around me is existing, you will always be in trouble. So, then you may live any number of years. What is the use of such living? Of course, somebody may argue now, no, I don't have trouble, I am enjoying life. There's an opposite argument. So, from that perspective, now this verse is talking. No, you said about problem, about aligning my goals to the goals of creation, etc. But I don't see any problem. I'm enjoying life. And life is meant for eat, sleep, make merry. Prabhupada calls it as hedonistic philosophy. Elsewhere, Prabhupada also says that Charvaka Muni, long back this atheistic, materialistic view had been held, even thousands of years back. Basmi bhutasya dehasya kuto punaragamana rinam kritva griham pibet yavat jivet sukham jivet. Actually, Prabhupada makes that point here. The modern thinking, from where did this idea originate? Let us enjoy unlimitedly, to the maximum. Let us maximize enjoyment. Prabhupada used that word. Let us maximize enjoyment here. Where is this idea coming from? Life is meant for the maximum duration of existence, for eating, drinking, sexual intercourse, making merry and enjoying life. Because the modern man thinks there is no life after death. He doesn't ponder over the idea at all. Does not even enter that zone at all, basically. This is called ignorance is bliss. He wants to remain in a state of ignorance of next life, of eternal life. Does not even think. His thinking is only limited to this body and how to keep this body comfortable and let me enjoy to the maximum. This is what Charvaka Muni said. Basmi bhutasya dehasya kutaha punar agamanaha. Basmi bhuta means this body. Basmi, when its end is to become ash. At least as per the Hindu custom, we burn the body, it becomes ash. So basmi bhutasya dehasya, bhuta means in this world, dehasya means this body. So when this body is dead, we burn this body, it becomes ash. According to the Hindu tradition, we do that. Kutaha punaragamana, where is the question of the body coming back? Therefore, rinam kritva griham pibet. This like today, enjoyment means sex, eating palatable dishes and dressing oneself very gorgeously and all kinds of makeup for the body. Those days, enjoyment means having a lot of ghee and butter to enjoy. So therefore, Charvaka Muni says, Rinam kritva griham pibet. Even if you have to take a loan, today we take loan for making apartments and houses and all. But those days, to purchase ghee, he says, even if it requires to take loan, better take loan because you enjoy eating ghee, drinking ghee. Rinam kritva. Rinam means obligation or loan. Griham pibet. Drink ghee, not eat ghee. Saying drink ghee and enjoy life to the maximum. Yavat jivet sukham jivet. So long you live. Be happy, no? The same thing, the modern man also is continuing the same atheistic temperament. So therefore, here Bhagavatam is saying, do the trees not live? They're also living. They're also enjoying. Somebody may argue that trees don't have life. No, that's being proved now. By modern science, the trees do have life. Long back, maybe about 20 years back, I saw one short video. Very interesting video. It talks about how the life of trees. The world of trees, basically. Just like human beings, they have friends, they have enemies. They want to partner with someone, they don't want to partner with someone, they are fighting among trees. Some scientist has studied it. Rather, botanist has studied it. So, someone may argue that, so the Bhagavatam is arguing, do the trees not live? So, simply living number of years and thinking, I am enjoying. Then Prabhupada says, Bhagavatam argues, no, don't compare the life of trees and life of human being. But if the activity has not gone above the plane of eating, sleeping, sex life and defense, then what is the advancement we have made? So therefore, here continuing Bhagavatam is saying, all around us, Grame, Pashava apare, do the beasts, na khadanti na mehanti kim, do the beasts are also not eating and discharging semen like the human being? Do the trees not live tarama kim na jimanti? And if you think simply breathing is a symptom of life, then bastra kim shvasantyuta, the bellows of the blacksmith is also breathing, making sound. So this is the argument by Bhagavatam to the atheists or the materialistic persons. So simply prolong life with no higher goals, spiritual values, then just maintenance of this body is nothing glorious. Nothing glorious. At best, we can be called Dvipada Pashu. Last sentence of this purport, Prabhupada actually calls them like that. A society of polished animals cannot benefit suffering humanity. For an animal, I'm sorry, the one sentence before. Prabhupada used the word animals in the shape of human beings, Dvipada Pashu. So we are no better than polished animals, that's all. So, in the Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj very nicely explains this point in his prayers to Narsimha-deva. It's a very famous prayer and a very famous reference Prabhupada used to give in many of his lectures. It's about a person having 5 wives and how he is being pulled by different wives. And Prabhupada compares the 5 wives to the 5 senses and how the senses are actually pulling us to different kinds of enjoyment. So Prahlad Maharaj actually offered this prayer to Lord Narasimha. I always wondered where this example is coming from. Years together. Then I found out that Prahlad Maharaj has made this prayer. Interesting to note, many examples, reference which Prabhupada gives, they're all you will find somewhere in the Shastra. Somewhere in the Bhagavatam or Nectar of Devotion or Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this one such example, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Jifvai kato achyuta vikarshati ma vitripta. In that verse, this is from 7th canto, 9th chapter, text 40. So Prahlad Maharaj is praying to Narasimhadev, Achyuta, O Lord, infallible Lord, unfailing Lord, Achyuta, Jifva ekata vikarshati ma vitripta. So he's saying, Jifva means tongue. Ekataha means to pull us to one side. So, Jifvai kata achyuta vikarshati ma vitripta. The tongue is pulling us to one side for tasting palatable dishes. But vikarshati means to attract. Ma vitripta. Ma means negation. Ma vitripta means but there is no satisfaction. Prabhupada says, whole life we have been eating palatable dishes. Every time we sit for a meal, it's not whole life, it's not whole day. Every meal you eat, you want something palatable, something different, something new, something different taste. And we have supplied. Mercifully, the cooks, the wives, the chefs, they all have supplied to satisfy our tongue unlimited dishes. Is there any point of satiation till now? No. Ma vitripta. But vikarshati, attraction still remains. To devour a lot of food. To enjoy a lot of food. But we are supplying, but there is no satisfaction. So nobody is sitting and analyzing why. Why the tongue is not being satisfied. So much I am supplying. Have you ever thought why it is not being satisfied? What is the reason? So much I am eating. Okay. I have not supplied, I understand. But I have supplied. Not once, twice, whole life. If I am 50 years old, 50 years I have supplied. I am 30 years old, 30 years I have supplied. From 70 years, 70 years I have supplied. And not one lifetime. Millions of lifetimes I have been supplying. The necessity of the tongue, till now it is not satisfied. Why? That question, why? It's very important to ask in life. So, jifva ekataha vikarshati ma vitripta. Then, shishna anyataha. That means the private organs. Anyataha. We have been satisfying the need, so-called need of the genitals. Till now they are not satisfied. So sex life is looks to be almost eternal and still not satisfied. Succumbing to the demands of sex and still is not being satisfied. Actually it's all the same. Not only genitals, you see the tongue also. Then see all the other examples. Then tvag udaram. Tvag means skin. The desire of the skin to touch soft things. Just like they're given a cushion to me, but you have been given only a mat. This looks to be better than that, right? It's a fact. So every possibility we want to maximize happiness. Every possibility. Through every possible way, we want to get comfort for life. So tvak, then udaram means belly. How much ever food you eat, still the urge is there, demand is there. Want to eat more. Already your stomach full. One more? Yes, surely. Isn't it? Why not if you're offering with love? That's just within quotes, offering with love anyway. Basically you want to fill up the belly to the maximum. Because ma vitripta, there is no satisfaction. Amidst all these things, what is happening? Shravanam kutaschit. Where is the desire to hear about you, my Lord? My desire is to eat and eat and eat, satisfy my tongue with unlimited tastes and palatable dishes, and satisfy my private organs and all these things. Where is the desire to hear about your glories? So this desire will fade away. If the desire for enjoying our senses are dominating, the desire to hear the Lord's glories will fade away. It will get eclipsed. That's all. So then further Bhagavatam is continuing. Granaha anyataha, the sense of smell, to smell fragrant things. And chapala drik. Chapala means chapala drik refers to the eyes. The eyes are constantly hunting for the objects of beauty. Constantly in search for the objects of beauty. Chapala drik. Kvacha karma shakti. And the senses are so active. Especially Bhagavatam says, in the human life particularly, all the senses are active. At least in other forms of life, in every species, maybe one or maximum two senses may be very active, very strong. Like the deer, the sense of hearing. The moth, the sense of eyes, seeing. So like that, one sense may be strong and active in different species. But in human life, all the 5 senses, or 10 senses, and the 11 senses, including the mind, all are super active, hyperactive. Then imagine how much careful we must be in handling them. They will be totally go out of control. They are very powerful forces. Krishna describes them in the Bhagavad Gita, the 2nd chapter. The force of mind and intelligence, there are 2 verses Krishna describes. You could do a little homework. What are those 2 verses? Later you can do. So there are 2 verses, one for the mind, one for the intelligence. Krishna says the force and the power of the mind, the power of the intelligence. That it takes away a man even of discrimination. You may be very careful. That is why we see there may be yogis and rishis and munis. Munis are those who are very thoughtful. Still, yogis, munis, rishis who are trying to control the senses. The modern man has no idea of controlling the senses anyway. That vocabulary doesn't exist in modern education. It's a vocabulary basically. That vocabulary doesn't exist. And forget syllabus. Vocabulary is not there, called sense control, called purification of existence. This is an important point. See, in our life we have been taught from childhood to enjoy the senses maximum, in a very innocent way, in a very natural way. Eat nicely, sleep sufficiently, care for the body to the maximum, maybe in a good sense, but the repercussion of that is not being realized. Okay, we should take care of the body, we should give good food to the body, take good health, good care for the body. That's all fine. But for what? That value is not being created. For what? Why to maintain this body? Why to care for this body? That is not being told. Why? That's not being told. That's the whole Upanishad, the Keno Upanishad. Why? Entire Upanishad is that only. Questioning, jignasa. So, unfortunately, that part is missing. No doubt our parents would have cared for us, for our body, for our health, for our comfort. That's all good. We don't deny that. But they should also have educated us about they should have cautioned us about the extremities of care for this body. That's not being done. That is not being done. So that is being missed in the modern civilization. So, So in the human form, all the senses are active. So if they are not properly regulated, they can create havoc. Havoc in what terms? In terms of understanding the purpose of human life and achieving the purpose of getting a human body, which is self-realization, for which you have to do tapasya. Tapasya, why? Actually, there is no need of tapasya. There is no need of tapasya. Why tapasya? Only if you are contaminated, you require tapasya. If you are not purified, there is no tapasya. An interesting point to note. There is no need of tapasya. Means tapasya for what? For purification. Why purification? Because there is contamination. Suppose there is some dirt in the floor, then only you have to broom it and mop it. There is no dirt, there is nothing much to do. It's already cleaned up. Suppose it's in a cleaned up state. Why do you do brooming and mopping daily? Because there is accumulation of dust every day. Similarly, by the very virtue of our bodily concept of life, there is contamination. So the contamination is the bodily concept of life. Identifying oneself with the body, although being a spirit soul, that is the primary contamination. But that contamination comes from another contamination of trying to be independent of the Lord and the Lord's care and protection. Anyway, so because of this bodily concept contamination, we have to purify. So for purifying, you require tapasya, which leads to self-realization. Purification means coming to the natural state. Just like the same example again. The dirt is there, you clean up. It's restored to its original state. Oh, it's a clean time. So therefore, what is that purified state? That is the state of self-realization or God realization. That's the natural state of the living entity. That's a purified state. So to come to that, we require tapasya because of contamination. So if one is not contaminated, no need of tapasya. Tapasya doesn't exist only. There is no necessity. But the fact is, we have got this material body because of contamination. What is the contamination? The contamination is the desire to enjoy independent of the Lord. Two contaminations. One is turning our face away from Krishna. Second thing is lording over this material world. With the desire to enjoy independently like the Lord. So these are the two contaminations, primary contaminations. Then all the other contaminations are offshoots from this primary contamination. Turn your face away from Krishna. Then you think all the senses are meant for my enjoyment. But if you turn your face towards Krishna, then you will engage all your senses in the seva of the Lord, as Maharaj Ambarish did. And he offers his famous prayers. Just like we see how the senses, all the five senses we saw, they are pulling towards different things. Maharaj Ambarish, he engaged all his senses in the service of the Lord and became Matpara devotee of the Lord, Prabhupada explains. By engaging all of his senses in the service of the Lord, the senses are reinstated to its original state. 2 days back I was reading one very nice quote by Prabhupada. Prabhupada is saying, actually the conditioned soul wants to enjoy, as Prabhupada is saying here, maximum, because he has no idea that there is so much of enjoyment in one's spiritual identity. As a spirit soul in connection with Krishna, the conditioned soul has no clue. As I said, there is no vocabulary. The only vocabulary is sense enjoyment. It's only vocabulary. And the body I have to enjoy. But matter you cannot enjoy. Therefore you can only concoct enjoyment. It's called simulation actually. Just like simulate, right? So it's simply concoction. Where the concoction happening? In the mind. So if you become Krishna conscious, then that's a natural state of existence. There is unlimited happiness. There will be no craving for material enjoyment. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness. One has to satisfy the senses spiritually. Then there is no craving for material enjoyment. Otherwise, fighting all the life with the material senses will be very strenuous and very tiring. Very tiring. This is the process of yoga. Very tiring. That's why most of the yogis fail. Because it's very tiring exercise it is. Control, regulate. Very tiring exercise. Rather, better we spiritualize our senses through the process of bhakti yoga, which is also natural. And then when the senses are reinstated to its original state, free from all contamination, there's natural happiness in the service of the Lord, and the craving will not be there. When does craving come? When you don't supply the demands of the senses. But the senses don't demand only then. This is also Prabhupada and Saraswati has said. The senses don't demand only. Then there's no danger. There's no danger. Like the example is given by Prabhupada and the Saraswati that suppose there is a snake. The snake is only dangerous because of its poison, because it is venomous. Venomous fangs are there. But if the fangs are taken away, there is no more danger as far as the snake is concerned. Still, it may cause some fear only to children, Prabhupada says, but not for those who know actually the fangs are taken away. Similarly, the danger with these senses is the craving for material enjoyment. There's no problem with the sense objects also. But the only problem is if you think the sense objects are meant for my enjoyment, independent enjoyment. Independent enjoyment. Enjoyment is also there, but independent enjoyment, that is the only problem. So, that's why it is partnership, because the Jiva and the Lord cannot be separated. They are one whole entity. That is why Prabhupada used the word part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna the whole, we are not part of Krishna, which is a separated part. No, we are not a separated part. We are part and parcel of Krishna. So when Krishna enjoys, when the whole enjoys, the part also enjoys. Because part is part of the whole. So this faith we should develop. This faith, Shraddha, should develop. That if we satisfy the Lord, we will also become satisfied. If we don't satisfy the Lord, we can never remain satisfied. Because we are constitutionally part and parcel of the Supreme Whole. So this we have to understand. And we are not this body. It's primary contamination. So, one point Prabhupada makes here, you see, very interesting. Actually, many interesting points are there in this purport. But one point here, you see. They want to get maximum comforts in this present life because they think conclusively there is no life after death. This ignorance about the eternity of the living being, ignorance of the eternity of the living being, and the change of covering the material world has played havoc in the structure of modern human society. See how interestingly Prabhupada makes it, the structure of modern human society. The entire fundamentals and the building blocks of the present modern human understanding is, I am this body, and everything around me is meant for keeping this body satisfied to the maximum, and there is no life after death. That's why I said there is no vocabulary of spirit, spiritual life, spiritual senses, satisfying Krishna. Just like from childhood we are being taught, take care of the body, satisfy your body. So from childhood if we are taught, take care of Krishna, take care of Krishna's body, take care of Krishna's food, give nice dress to Krishna, because we have been taught, put nice dress, nice powder, Pond's powder you put. So we have been taught like that. But if you've been taught other way, from childhood, and if all our textbooks from childhood had been this Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam is like, you can say, advanced study. It began with Bhagavad Gita in childhood. Little slokas, little stories. The entire vocabulary, because from the vocabulary, from the knowledge only you build the human society. From our engineering, medicine, everything. But all of that knowledge is used for sense gratification because that is the vocabulary. That is the syllabus. That is the textbook. That is the degree from a philosophical point of view. Then from a technical point of view. See, from a philosophical point of view, because modern science, all this technology has come about for maximizing our comfort. Maximizing our comfort. Now fan is there. Earlier we used to have that, what is that? Made of simple bamboo fan we used to have. Just to fan ourselves. There's some discomfort is there. Like that, discomfort is always there because this world is dvandva. So therefore one has to learn tolerance. One has to learn tolerance. Now this discomfort and comfort comes and goes. If you want eternal comfort, then you have to awaken your spirit, sense of spiritual identity. Otherwise there will be eternal discomfort instead of eternal comfort. Eternal discomfort. So long you have the senses and the body, there will be discomfort. And so long you are identifying with the dvandva nature of this world, you can never be out of this dvandva of comfort and discomfort, like and dislike, happiness and distress. We have nothing to do with both of them. All through the Gita, Krishna had been trying to stress this point, but so one has to practice this. Accept some discomfort of the body. The discomfort also only so long you are identifying with the body. At least theoretically, if you accept and have faith on Krishna's statements, you'll see a lot of relief is there. Lot of relief, comfort is there. Those who don't accept, they suffer. That's why they think devotees are suffering. Typically, when devotees join the movement, most of the people are in the impression, oh, they're suffering so much. So much tapasya. Tapasya means they're thinking suffering. Tapasya is not suffering. Tapasya is treatment. Tapasya is not suffering. Tapasya is treatment. Just as somebody is taking tablet, yo, yolo kashta padra. How he is suffering, you see, he is taking tablet. Tablet is treatment. Medication is treatment. It is not suffering. For becoming healthier eventually. Similarly, we are taking this tapasya only because it is in bodily concept of life. There is no tapasya. In spiritual world, there is no tapasya. Material world also, for those who are liberated or those who are out of bodily concept, there is no tapasya. Therefore, there is no restriction. They don't indulge. Or even they indulge, supposedly. Because they are not contaminated. They are pure. You see Krishna's friends, Krishna's life, full of joy. So much they are eating. Palatable dishes, same thing. But with Krishna. There's one famous picture we used to put in ISKCON temple. So, Krishna and Krishna's friends, they come to the forest and they're having a lunch. So many items they bring. Each Gopa brings their lunch box. So this carrying lunch box is a very old system. Sometimes devotees disagree with this. We say take lunch box and go for preaching. Don't come back in the afternoon. You should come back night. So a lot of opposition is there in the system. But Krishna, Balram and the Gopas also carried lunch box. They would not come back to Gokula for afternoon. They'll come back in the evening only. Our ISKCON Bangalore temple, when we were constructing the temple, we had that system. Madhupana Prabhu had that rule. It was a kind of rule. Again, rule. See, we hate rule. We hate rule. You know why? Because we are in the platform of Dvandva. The rule, okay, then fundamental question is why the rule has come? Actually, there's no need of rule. No need of monitoring. Why the rule has come in the first place? Have we ever thought why the rules have come? Because we hate rules. And ashram life means rules only, right? Generally. Oh, Krishna. So actually interesting to note. That's why, see, depends which kind of life you want to choose. You want to be under the life of rules or life of freedom? What we'll choose? Oh, Prabhu, life of freedom only. But here it's not like that. Somebody may think. So the thing is, rule means why? Why rule is there? Rule is a caution. It's to protect us. But if we are already protected and never we will slip away from our spiritual identity, there's no rule. Just like a pure devotee of the Lord, he will never do sense gratification at any cost. Never, ever. There's no danger of sense gratification for a pure devotee. Therefore, for a pure devotee, material energy, material senses, one place Prabhupada says, material energy is a source of inspiration for the pure devotee to offer service to Krishna. You see? Material energy is a source of inspiration to serve Krishna. Because for a pure devotee, whatever he sees around him, he only sees, how can I use this in the seva of my Lord, beloved Lord? Because, he is in the wakeful state, awakened state. There's no danger. The same thing, the snake without poisonous fangs. So when the senses are purified, there's no danger with the senses. Because how can you serve the Lord without the senses? Either in the material world or in the spiritual world, you cannot serve. So therefore, senses are important. There's no danger with the senses. But the attitude, the approach towards the senses is what is to be seen carefully. So if our attitude is use our senses in the seva of the Lord, then there is no danger. There's no tapasya needed. So tapasya is to teach. Tapasya, okay, one more meaning is tapasya is like teaching the student. Do like this, don't do like that. So we are getting trained. So rules means we are getting trained. Do like this, not like that. Do like this, not like this. For Krishna, not for me. For Krishna, not for me. We're getting trained. Once you're trained, then there's no danger. Technically there's no need for rules. Technically there's no need for tapasya, provided you have spiritually awakened. So we have to take the call. If you think always rules, monitoring, then you take the call, follow everything. No rules. No rules means, because you are already following, you are not in danger. This is a simple secret. So the trees may be living many years, but what is the use? Animals are also living. Trees are living. What is the glory of living number of years? But what is the value? What is the contribution? That is important. Eating and sleeping is not the symptom of life. Enjoyment, material enjoyment. Even animals are doing that. Trees are enjoying. Animals are enjoying. All the species. 84 lakh species are meant for sense gratification. All the 84 lakh species are different forms of. Can you imagine the permutation combination for material enjoyment? Practically unlimited. That's why there are 84 lakh species, combinations and permutations of varieties of concocted forms of enjoyment by the soul with his material body. So you give up all those concoctions and remain in your spiritual identity, and that is only one. Krishna Nitya Dasa. And there is eternal, unlimited happiness. So Prabhupada is saying that because they don't know, unfortunately they don't know, there is unlimited happiness in the seva of the Lord. We are craving for material enjoyment. So therefore one has to be taught and trained and save oneself from this material enjoyment and suffering thereby. So we'll stop here. Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.